everybody. Welcome to our Masters of Evaluation meeting. As your Sergeant at Arms, I officially call this meeting to order. The motto of today's meeting is, sometimes the difference between a good speech and a great one is the feedback you receive. And this leads to the evaluation tip for today that comes from Sandra Savage for our Masters of Evaluation Codex book. The tip: pay close attention to how the speech begins. The first 8 words are critical to hooking the audience attention. Notice if the speaker dives straight into their story or loses momentum with unnecessary pleasantries. Evaluating those opening words helps the speaker command the room from the very first second. The end of the tip. And now the technical part of the meeting. I would like everyone to turn on their cameras right now, please. And welcome everyone. Say hello by sending a heart through the reaction function of Zoom. Please, 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 I'm waiting for the hearts. That's fantastic. And please make sure you keep your microphones muted during the meeting if you do not speak. And now I will hand over to our club president, Victoria James.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Masters of Evaluation. I want to give a very special welcome to all of our guests. We're so glad to see you all here, and we're going to spend some good quality time together today. Let me lower my hand. We have with us some special guests from the division. Pamela Garcia, Division B Director. Can you say a few words? What brings you here today?
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. It is my pleasure and honor to be with you to install the officers for 2026-2027, and just spend some quality time learning from you, sharing and learning, collaborating with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pamela. John, is it Meinhardt or Meinhardt? Oh, you're on mute.
Meinert. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am newly indoctrinated, newly arrived Area B1 director, and so I am here today just to say hello. And I understand you're having installation today, so that's great. And thank you for the invitation as well. I had just signed up yesterday for the meeting, so I'm looking forward to attending a few meetings and getting started with my official duties as soon as we can.
Wonderful. Thank you, John.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me this morning.
Thank you for coming. David Kitchen, I've heard a lot about you. Can you come off mute and let us know about yourself?
Well, thank you, Madam President, and that can be scary. I hope it's been good. Good. It gives me great pleasure to be here. I feel I'm amongst friends. Presently, I've volunteered to serve as an area director in B5 under our boss, Pamela Garcia. Vicki, it's really great to see you, and I'm among family, John, Sandra, a number of you who, John Graham, who we serve together. So I'm here to support, and I'm very proud of the accomplishments that your club has achieved. It's really inspirational. Good job.
Oh, thank you so very much. Sherman Elliott, can you tell us what brings you to Masters of Evaluation?
I was out on the internet and I saw that you were having a meeting and it met with my schedule. I'm currently in Warner Robins, Georgia, a member of Genesis Toastmasters Club 9580. And I heard that you're going to talk about evaluations, and that's something that our club needs to do also. Matter of fact, our meeting next week is about how to give a successful, complete evaluation, and I'm the demonstration speaker. So I'm going to learn from this and take that back to our Genesis Club here in Warner Robins, Georgia. Thank you for having me.
Well, we'd love to hear that. Welcome. And at the end of the meeting, we'll ask you what your takeaways are. We're always interested in learning more about how we can help other members and clubs learn the art of evaluation that we're trying to hone here all the time. Jeff, could you come off mute and say hello? Let us know what brings you here today.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. We had a Moments of Truth Club meeting in our club, which is the Dassault Systems Boston Toastmaster. So we're in Massachusetts. And Rosie, who's here, also told us about your club. And one of the things that we discussed in our Moments of Truth is that we don't do evaluations very well. And reached out to you, and you kindly invited me to join you as a guest so I can see how another club does it, especially one that specializes in it. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming, Jeff. I'm going to probably mispronounce your name, Abul Fazl. Can you pronounce that for me?
Yes, Abul Fazl.
Okay.
Abul Fazl. Hi there. I'm a therapist from Iran. Can you hear me?
Yes,
All
we
of
can hear
is
you.
freeze. Okay. I'm a therapist and psychologist from Iran. And also, that is one of my wishes to be a public speaker and becoming fluent at English. Guys, you should appreciate that you can speak at the level of native English speaker. Here you live in America. That's so great. I'm now live in Iran, and we have a lot of difficulties here. Nice to meet you guys. I hope we have a good time here. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful to have you. Thanks for coming. Keith, could you come off mute and let us know what brings you to Masters of Evaluation today?
Well, I saw your post on Facebook and I thought I'd check it out while I'm at work.
Great.
Just a bit different. Our club is in Vancouver. We're a bit of a hybrid, so both in person and Zoom. So I'm not used to seeing a Zoom meeting. I thought another good reason to check it out.
Great. Well, thank you for coming, Keith. I hope you enjoy our meeting today. And of course, I want to say that we're delighted to see Vicki, our founding member, sporting her new look today. Everybody give a round of applause for Vicki's new look and those beautiful earrings. She is the OG Master Evaluator and the founder of this club. Vicki, would you please come off of mute and just give us a word or two about your vision for this club?
Thank you so much, Madam President. I am an international speaker, and I've been in Toastmasters for 22 years. I've always taken it really seriously with humor. And what my frustration was in other clubs, Abu Sazi, is poor evaluations. To tell you you're wonderful, in an evaluation, if you focused on my head, if you forgot while you were here, you will never become a better speaker. And with a push and a hug by Keith Jackson and Brad Stauffer, I started MOE. It has accomplished exactly what I wanted. People come to our club and go, whoa, that's how you do an evaluation. So that's what we do. Thank you for asking. You're doing a wonderful job as current president. I am in the background at doing certain things to help, but what a great club. You're all so welcome, and we're glad you're here.
Thank you so much, Vicki. Well, with that, I think it's time to turn this meeting over to our Toastmaster of the day, Miss Sandra Savage, who is a chef, and she is bringing a very special theme to our meeting today. Take it away, Sandra Savage.
Thank you. Well, today I want to learn your secret. What's your secrets in the kitchen, Mr. Kitchen? but your secrets to a better speech. I joined Toastmasters 38 years ago. And in my very first meeting, I had a person come up to me and say two things. If you join the club, I'll be your mentor. And let me tell you a secret. You want to hear that first secret I heard? She says, if you're nervous, don't be. Everybody in your audience is already cheering for you. Go out there and have a good time. And that little piece of confidence that she gave me made a world of difference. And I knew that I was with the right club when they were willing to share their secrets with me. And today we're going to share a lot of secrets with you, not only about evaluations, but also about how we all work together, have a good time, and help each other improve. Now, I'm going to give the stage over to our general evaluator for a moment, and that would be Mr. John White, to introduce his evaluation team.
Thank you very much, Madam President. As you mentioned, I will be serving as general evaluator, and we have a couple of functionaries who will provide their reports later in the meeting, and I will also introduce the evaluators after the world-renowned table topic and SNAP evaluations. So my team consists of the word of the day, grammarian counter. Is Venice Rowe here? Venice is not here. Then we will transition to our timer. Kate is our timer. Do you want to go over the timing
I'm
rules?
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hi.
Hello, everybody. Again, I will be your timer today, and I'll make sure to help you to manage your speaking time. So we have our speeches today are 5 to 7. So I will use coloring cards to indicate the timing. So at 5 minutes, I will turn my background. So I'm pinned on the top, so make sure you see me. At 6 minutes will be green, and at 7 minutes it will be red, and then you have to wrap up your speech. And for the table topics, 2 minutes, I will make only 2 colors, yellow at 1.5 and red at 2 minutes. And then we have snap evaluations for 1 minute. And I believe I will do only red. So you will have to wrap up your speech. And I don't know, I will evaluate the evaluator. I will time the evaluators as well, 3 minutes. So that will be green at 2 minutes, yellow at 2.5, and red at 3 minutes. So I guess that's it from me, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Now, I know there's some recent changes to the curriculum, and they've come into with an impromptu functionary role, David Kitchen. You may not have read the literature. Impromptu functionary role. David Kitchen, you're working on your 9th DTM. Do you want to be the word of the day grammarian counter, sir? No, he doesn't. He's talking. David? He's not doing it. Anyone else want to volunteer for this role?
Well, I just happen to have a word ready.
Word. Please share
And
it.
I just put it in the chat, and the word is esoteric. Intended for or understood only by a small number of people, which we don't want to be. We want to share with everyone our specialized knowledge or interest. It's an adjective, and for example, the lecture was filled with esoteric concepts that fascinated scholars but puzzled most listeners. So, David, could you count how many times people use the word esoteric for us? David Kitchen?
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I'll be happy to count and give a brief report when called upon to do so.
Great. Thank you very much, David. And we are now turning the meeting back to the Toastmaster.
Actually, I'm going to turn it over to our president. We forgot something very important to do this morning, and I'm going to let Victoria have the stage back.
I apologize, everyone. I apologize, Pamela. As we were discussing this morning, Pamela and I, we jump into our roles and we all make mistakes. And I made a little bit of a blunder on our agenda. I got off and so excited to start the meeting and welcome all of the guests that I skipped right over our lovely director. Pamela, would you please begin with our induction?
Thank you, Madam President, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. It's my honor and pleasure to be with Masters of Evaluation, and to recognize the officers who are serving this club for the 2026-2027 Toastmasters year. Masters of Evaluation has a distinctive purpose. Evaluation here is more than critique. It asks us to listen carefully, think clearly, encourage honestly, and help another person discover the next step in their growth. One focus for Masters of Evaluation this year is to make the skill more visible and reachable. There is a familiar learning principle. One of the best ways to discover whether you're truly understanding someone who is trying to teach it. I'm sorry, let me repeat it. One of the best ways to discover whether you truly understand something is to try to teach it. Masters of Evaluation has developed some excellent secret sauce, and I'm sure we'll hear about some of those today. Part of the opportunity ahead is to understand the recipe well enough to share it with newer members and guests. The work depends on protecting something just as important, a place where you and I can take risks. Mastery requires practice, and practice can be awkward, experimental, and a little bit messy. Each strong club creates enough trust for members to try something difficult, receive meaningful feedback, learn from it, and want to come back again and again. That sense of safety, challenge, camaraderie, and encouragement is a part of what makes this club worth attending. Masters of Evaluation also works because its members help build it. This year, the club earns the Smedley Award for Membership Growth. Congratulations on earning that Smedley Award for 2025-2026. That achievement reflects members inviting people in, welcoming guests, participating, learning, and helping create an experience that people would want to return to. Every member has something to contribute. Give the speech, take the role, work toward an educational goal, mentor someone, invite someone who might thrive here, help create the kind of meeting you want to attend. Some members belong to more than one Toastmaster club, and each club offers something different. When you're here, this is your club, too. Its strength depends on members choosing to invest some of their talent, energy, and learning back into it. Perhaps this year's Smedley Award can be the beginning of a trend. Of course, let's make it a streak. Members create the club experience together. The officers we recognize here today have accepted a special responsibility for helping that experience thrive and for the and for preparing the club for the people who would lead it after them. And now I'll start with the Sergeant at Arms. The Sergeant at Arms helps maintain the club's physical and virtual environment, preparing the meeting space and equipment, welcomes members and guests, and helps maintain the meetings begins smoothly and professionally.
Oh,
Kate Mion, will you accept responsibility for seeing that the duties of the Sergeant at Arms are carried out during the Toastmaster your term for 2026-2027?
I do.
Please.
Thank
Thank you. Now, the treasurer. The treasurer safeguards the club's financial affairs by maintaining accurate financial records, overseeing accounts and the budget, and reporting the club's financial position as needed. John White, will you accept responsibilities for seeing that the duties of the treasurer are carried out during your term, 2026-2027?
I do.
Thank you. Secretary. The secretary maintains the institutional memory of the club by recording minutes and decisions, maintaining club's records and correspondence, and preserving those records so that today's work can be understood and carried forward by the future leaders. John White, will you accept the responsibilities for seeing that the duties of secretary are carried out during your term, 2026-2027?
I do.
Thank you, Mr. White. Vice President of Public Relations, you help tell the club's story by promoting the club, maintaining public presence, helping prospective members discover what Masters of Evaluations has to offer. Sandra Savage, will you accept responsibility for seeing that the duties of Vice President of Public Relations are carried out during your term, 2026-2027?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Vice President of Education, you lead the club's educational program by helping members pursue their goals, coordinating meeting roles and educational opportunities, and supporting a high-quality member learning experience. Kathy Choice, will you accept responsibility for seeing that the duties of Vice President of Education are carried out during your term, 2026-2027?
I will.
Thank you. President. The president provides leadership for the club as a whole, presides over the club and executive committee meetings, supports the officer team, and helps ensure that the club fulfills its mission and operates in accordance with the Toastmaster governing documents. Victoria James, will you accept responsibility for seeing that the duties of president are carried out during your term, 2026-2027?
I will.
Thank you. Accepting responsibility for an office does not mean doing every task personally. Healthy leadership includes designation. Committees and other officers and members can can and should share the work. The officer who owns a role remains responsible for knowing how the duties of that office are being accomplished, following up on, on delegated work, identifying gaps, and reporting progress and concerns through the executive team. These roles also work together. The executive committee is where officers coordinate responsibilities, report on the work entrusted to them, and conduct the business and administrative work of the club in accordance with Toastmasters governing documents. This year, you are being entrusted with the experience today's members value and the club that tomorrow's members will inherit. Protect the camaraderie, mentorship, education, experiences, and fun that make Masters of Evaluation what it is. Protect the sanctuary that lets people take risks and do the messy work required for mastery. Build the habits, records, system, and share knowledge that will allow this club to thrive through future changes in leadership. A strong organization can carry its purpose forward as people and leadership change. Its people knows that they have been entrusted with help one another carrying it out and leave the organization stronger for whoever comes next. Officers of Master of Evaluation, will you accept the charge and serve the club accordingly during the 2026-2027 Toastmasters year? We will.
We will.
It's been my privilege to recognize you as the 2026-2027 officer team of Masters of Evaluation Toastmasters Club. Congratulations and have a wonderful year, and I know you will. Back to you, Madam President.
Actually, I'll take over from here, Pamela, because we are right on time. And so now it is time for our prepared speeches. And to introduce our first speaker, I'd like to introduce Victoria Trabash, who will be evaluating Tamara Evans. Victoria?
Thank you very much. It is such an honor to evaluate Tamara because what you will see today is improvement in how far she's come. I apologize, we did a quick switcheroo. Is that chemo a quick switcheroo, a switch kickaroo? Kind of an esoteric question, one I cannot answer. Anyway, I don't have a form, but you know it's tomorrow. I know what I've looked for in the past, and I'm sure we're going to get some good storytelling. I'm going to tell you what our speech is about because I have no idea, and that is the best way to do it. To give a speech in this club means you are absolutely open to becoming better, and that's what we have with Tamara. And again, I'm not certain what she's going over. I do not have the name of her speech in hand. If our Toastmaster could say it, or Sandra could say it, I'd appreciate it. Turn it back to you.
Well, the title to Tamara's speech today is The Keys to Happiness. This is part of her Visionary Communications Connect with Her Audience speech. Title again is The Keys to Happiness.
And thank you, Sandra.
Can you imagine a person who doesn't want to be happy? Probably not. Happiness is everybody's dream. But what actually is happiness? Where and how can it be found? Happiness is not something you find at the end of the rainbow. Happiness is something you create. Being happy is an art, and it requires learning and practicing. Then gradually we will have the power of extracting happiness from ordinary things. Isn't it wonderful to learn to be so happy that when others look at you, they become happy too? Happiness is not about getting all we want. It's about enjoying all we have. We have so many divine gifts, which we often take for granted or don't even notice. Beautiful nature, interesting books, devoted friends, diverse talents, fantastic electronic devices which give miraculous opportunities for self-education and connection with the dear ones all over the world. To be happy, we must not be too concerned with the opinion of others. If I prepare a speech for a Toastmasters contest, feel excited creating it, and elated delivering it, this is what matters. I may not get an award, but I am happy anyway, because I feel good about myself without the need of the judge's verdict. Happiness is not about what happens to us, but how we choose to respond to what happens. We must always leave some room for the hope that everything happened for a good cause. All my life, I worked as a teacher, both in Ukraine and in America. I liked my job and was not planning to retire. But when circumstances made me do it, I was upset. Later, I realized that retirement provides much time for doing my favorite things: reading, gardening, playing ukulele, learning Spanish and Polish, and being a Toastmaster. I enjoy preparing, delivering, and evaluating speeches. So in the end, I am happy and grateful that things happened as they did. To be happy, it is important to realize that you have the power to choose what to accept and what to let go. Our happiness and inner peace are our own responsibility. We should not depend on anyone else for that. However, sometimes we encounter those who have evil intentions, try to spoil our lives and deprive us of feeling happy. What shall we do in this case? Let me give you some food for thought. Do you know that the only bird who dares to peck an eagle is a crow? Of course, the crow doesn't fight the eagle openly. It attacks from the back and digs into the eagle's neck. What is the eagle's reaction? He doesn't try to push the crow off his back, doesn't fight her, doesn't waste time and strength on it. He just stretches his wings and soars higher and higher into the sky where his domain is. And the higher he flies, the less strength and oxygen is left at crow's disposal. Eventually, the exhausted crow falls down. The story is symbolic. What do you think crows symbolize? Yes, envy, gossip, and unfair accusations, which many successful people often encounter on the way to their goal. Now ask yourselves, if life challenges you that way, how would you react to such injustice? Would you fight, trying to prove to everyone that all this is slander and feel exhausted in the end? Or, like an eagle, spread your wings and soar high above all those pesky crows to reach your noble goal? The choice is yours. And remember, there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. There are no keys to happiness. The door is always open. It's up to us to choose to be happy. As Leo Tolstoy said, if you want to be happy, be. Back to you.
Thank you, Tamara. Let's take 1 minute, and if you could put that on the timer, Kate, for us to write either privately or publicly any comments that you have on Tamara's speech today.
1 minute is over.
Thank you. Let me tell you a second secret that I learned, and one that Tamara is so good at doing. I was told your audience won't listen to you if they don't like you. Well, Tamara broke that wall down quickly. She's very like. Let's move on to our second speech. This one is from Rosie, returning back to Masters of Evaluation. And her evaluator is John Graham. John, would you like to introduce Rosie's speech for us, please?
I'm very honored to introduce Rosie. Rosie's very esoteric in a couple of different ways. Number one, she has her own CPA firm she just recently opened. And she also is the only person I know, she started with Rotostatos. That was a couple of years ago. And she immediately jumped into competition and rose to the district level. To do that, she had to do evaluations at least 4 or 5 clubs. Vicky helped mentor her, and I walked her with one of our members around through all those other clubs. So I don't know anybody else who's reached a level so quickly. She had to do that in order to qualify, and that's another esoteric trait. Now she's here to give a speech on motivational strategies. That's her pathway, level 2, understanding your communication style, and she's supposed to share the ways that her style impacts others. So more than just a tax return, Rosie Flaherty, more than just a tax return.
Oh, Rosie, you're muted.
Hi, I'm Rosie, a real estate tax CPA. Oh, hi, Rosie. So you just focusing on doing tax for real estate investor? That's right. My niche is real estate tax. I understand real estate tax very well, and it's not just a regular tax return. It's more than just a tax return. For example, a general tax CPA may not be able to understand much about 1031 exchange, about cost segregation, about bonus depreciation, or even capital improvement. And on the top of that, I do not just look on the regular deduction like how much you spend on utilities or how much you spend on evict the tenant. I look at in a bigger picture. Maybe I could recommend you to do the cost segregation. Maybe would recommend you to do the capital improvement on your rental properties. And on the top of that, I understand a different type of real estate investors like long-term rentals, short-term rentals, flippers, or it can be single-family home, multi-family, or it can be commercial building. Whoa, Rosie, you seem to know a lot about real estate tax. I do. And on the top of that, I'm proactive. I'm not just a tax preparer. It's based on just a tax return. I plan before the transaction because most the tax saving happen before you finish the transaction. I have a prospect client who came to me and asked me, Rosie, I just sold a property and I got $1.6 million on capital gains. How can I avoid paying tax on this? My first question to the prospect client, did you already finish the transaction? He said yes. Unfortunately, nothing I could do at this time because he could have done the 1031 exchange to defer all $1.6 million capital gains and didn't have to pay any tax at all on that amount. So everything happened before the transaction complete. On the top of that, I don't look at one property. I look at the bigger picture, the whole portfolio to give you the advice and strategies. And I also provide year-round planning. And tax planning shouldn't just happen when you prepare the tax return at year end. That sounds interesting because my CPA just meet me when we need to file the tax return in March or April. So I didn't know that you have all year round planning. That's right. That's very common. That's what most CPA do. But I don't do that. And guess what? I also a real estate investor as well. I have properties in California, in Ohio, and so I understand what you or other real estate investors are dealing with, what struggles you are dealing with. For example, what items, what neighborhood you are looking for. What if you cannot rent a tenant? And what if you cannot deduct this expense? We couldn't find a contractor. All of that concerns, I understand. I do not just look at the tax return, the numbers. It's based on the tax return. It's about the bigger pictures behind the returns. And I understand tax saving is not just only one goal. It's about building your wealth, building the portfolio. And because of that, I want to understand the person behind the portfolio. So I normally schedule the quarterly meeting or bi-monthly meeting, depends on how many activities you have throughout the year, not just for tax planning, but also to understand who you are, what you are looking for, what portfolio you are dealing with. That sounds really interesting, Rosie. I would like to discuss with you further about this, about my tax return. Would you be available to have another meeting after this networking event? I would love to. This is my business card. Please reach out to me and may I have your business card as well? And I would love to just reach out to you and we can discuss further about what we can do for your real estate investment and how we can work together. Thank you, Rosie. This is my business card. Thank you. Talk to you soon. I understand that tax can be esoteric, but it's my job, not your job. If you have any questions about tax preparation for real estate investor, come to me, Rosie Flaherty, Real Estate Tax CPA. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Rosie, and talking about such an esoteric topic and making it fun, especially with your body language and your voice. Let's take a minute on the clock, Kate, so that we have an opportunity to give our comments back to Rosie, either privately to her or in the main chat.
1 minute starts. 1 minute is over.
Thank you, Kate. And while you're at it, Kate, would you give us the times for both Tamara and Rosie?
Tamara's speech, 7 minutes, 15 seconds. Rosie's speech, 5 minutes.
Perfect. Both within the time.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of time, it's time to have some fun. And we do that with our SNAP evaluations. I'm going to put in the chat for you how we do SNAP evaluations, but I'll give you a quick explanation. Kathy Choice is our table topics master today. She's going to ask anyone she wants to pick on a question. They have 1 to 2 minutes to give a reply. Then, and this is key, you better be paying attention because you're going to be called on without warning to give a 1-minute evaluation of the reply, not continue the story, but a 1-minute feedback to the person who replied to the table topic question. Are you ready to take over, Kathy?
You know I am.
All right.
Okay, so for my first question, which is, if your personality was a recipe, what is the one secret or esoteric ingredient that makes you completely unique? And for this question, this will go to DTM Sherman Elliott. We can't hear you.
Wow, that's an esoteric question, and I will give you an esoteric answer. It's only for those people who are engineers, golfers, retired, and a Toastmaster. My one ingredient is brown sugar. You see, my grandmother's favorite recipe to cook for my birthday was baked beans, and her secret recipe was brown sugar. Brown sugar gives it a different spicy taste, and once it's baked, wow, the zestfulness of that brown sugar cuts through all of the other ingredients she would put into that beautiful birthday baked bean delight for her grandson, Sherman Elliott. Another ingredient that is very interesting, but I don't put it in my baked beans, is cinnamon. Cinnamon toast and baked beans. Wow. My birthday is Sunday. Guess what I'm having for my Sunday afternoon after church meal is some cinnamon toast and baked beans with bacon and brown sugar. Sherman will be so delighted to sing happy birthday to myself, Sherman Elliott Jr. Thank you for that question.
Thank you, Sherman, but I'm going to say you were unapologetic in letting us all know your birthday is coming up. And for our SNAP evaluation, I am going to ask Brad to give that.
Sherman, DTM Sherman, from the outset of your table topic speech, I enjoyed your energy and your smile and your premise of brown sugar. What I really connected with was you showing up. Your words were sweet. They were very interesting and family oriented, but it's you that I really noticed. Your eye contact, your voice, your clarity and distinction in the words that you said, and your smile. And what could be better than brown sugar and a smile. Thank you. Good job.
Thank you, Brad. And for the next question, a skyscraper needs a strong foundation to stand tall. What hidden core value, secret sauce, esoteric behavior, whatever esoteric thing did you receive as a child that helps you stand strong today? And for this question, this is going to go to Jeff.
Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. My father was not the kind of person who gave a lot of fatherly advice, but there's one piece of advice I remember him giving me, and he told me not to look in the plate next to you. Just look at the plate in front of you. This is his way of talking about envy. And since then, everything I read reinforces that same thought, that envy is the thief of joy. And it kind of goes back to what Tamara shared with us too, about being happy with what we have instead of looking at what else is out there. So thinking back on that one piece of advice and enjoying what I have, it's my father's advice to me. Don't look at the plate next to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. And for our SNAP evaluation, I'm going to give this to Vicki.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Chokes me up. Just listen to your speech, Jeff. Thank you so much for letting me give some advice. Jeff, I loved your point. Don't look at the plate next to me. It was interesting. The thing that caught my attention and wanted me to know more, so I leave it out, is where you started. My dad didn't give me much advice, but what he did give was this. I know that speech could have been stronger if you'd started with your dad. Because guess what? I want to know why he didn't give more advice. That wasn't your point. Don't ever, as a speaker, give us something to wander away with when your main point was so excellent. And if you'd left that out, and you were short on time, so you could have done more, I would have loved a story about how you let envy become the thief. And then when you brought in Tamara, perfect ending. Well done. I think I'm under a minute. Boom, you got it.
Okay, thank you, Vicki, for that SNAP evaluation. For my next question, dragons usually guard gold. If you were a dragon, what sentimental or esoteric item would you guard with your life because it brings you success? And for this question, I am going to give this to Abofazo. And I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
Yes, you pronounced it correctly, but unfortunately, I didn't catch the question. I understood it is about dragon, but the continuous of the question, I didn't understand that.
Would you like for me to say it again?
In a simpler terms, please, in simpler words, thank you.
Okay. If you were a dragon, what would you guard that brings success to your life?
What would
the
I
special? What is the
guard?
special thing in your life that you would guard?
Okay, what does guard mean?
What would you protect?
Okay. The only thing that I started protecting in my life is having consistency. I see lots of times in my life that I give up to doing something for a period of amount of time, for example, 30 days, 90 days, but I protect from something that I'm doing it consistently. I don't want to give up. I don't want, if I want to create a habit in my life, so I have to protect this chain of consistency. That's the only thing I want to do in my personal life because it guarantees any success. And that's the whole thing that comes in my mind. Thank you for your question. It was a great question, and thank you all for your hard work. It is a great meeting. I enjoyed a lot from it. Thank you.
Thank you. And for the evaluation of Abu response, excuse me, I'm going to ask Sandra. Will you give that?
Thank you, Kathy. I love that he didn't have a physical item that he was protecting, but something more valuable, and that's consistency. Knowing that, as I take it from what he said, people can count on you over and over again. And I like that he chose a action versus something tangible. And I think that we could take that a little bit further in in your response with how that has give us a success story when you did that, so that you make us want to also protect consistency. And that would be my one recommendation for you.
Thank you very much, Sandra. For my next question.
And it'll have to be the last.
Okay, that's not. Thank you very much. That won't be a problem. For my next question. If a movie was made about your life, what musical instrument or theme song would be the secret sauce that plays whenever you walk into a room? And for that, I am going to give this to David Kitchen.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmaster. Question is, if there was a movie about my life, what would be a favorite song or in that movie, or what movie it would be? Actually, it would be many different types of movies or musical choices, as I do feel that I do at sometimes live an esoteric life. There's a lot of hidden meanings, but one movie comes to mind, and that is with James Stewart. It's a Wonderful Life. There's three things about that movie. Number one, it's a traditional movie that plays at every Christmas time about a young man who grows up in a city, Bedford, and everyone knows him. His brother loses his money, and at the end of the day, he wants to do away with his life because his life is in shambles. But at the end, his friends come together, and he finds the beauty of friendship, camaraderie, and just being grateful. It is a wonderful life. Because of Toastmasters, I've amassed 4 businesses. It is a wonderful life. 2, gratitude. It's giving me gratitude. And 3, it lets me know that if I get out of the way, life will happen the way it's supposed to happen. So there you have it, Madam Table Topics Master. That will be my movie. It's a Wonderful Life. And here's a call to action to you. Check it out this Christmas season. It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, David. Actually, that movie doesn't get deleted from off of my VCR, so I have it year round. For your snap evaluation, I am going to ask Michael Schaefer to deliver that, please.
Oh, thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Can we just say we have gone to school and learned about how to just, with grace, respond with almost perfection to a great and challenging question. I was thinking, what's that instrument in that Rod Stewart song? It didn't matter. You had me, and I went along with you. You had confidence. You, in 2.5 sentences, captured the plot of It's a Wonderful Life, and then crowed a little bit. And I think it's an opportunity to do that for businesses. The structure of your answer was so great. And I was like, oh, how about a call to action? And you gave us a call to action. I've got one thing, and I want to have three. But that was, what's the question for us? Put it in our laps and get us to start thinking about our happy life or how it could be happier. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Michael. And I'd like to ask Kate if you can give us a timing report.
Yeah, the speakers, topics. Sherman, 1 minute 45. The snap evaluation, Brad, 50 seconds. Jeff, the speaker, 51 seconds. Snap evaluation. Vicky, 1 minute. Abul Fazal, the speaker, 1 minute. And the snap evaluation, I didn't capture the name. Sorry, 50 seconds. And David Kitchen, speaker, 1 minute, 50 seconds. And snap evaluation, Michael, 1 minute.
Thank you so very much, Kate, for the timing report. And I would like to now turn the meeting over to our general evaluator, John White.
Thank you very much, Kathy Joyce. Give it up for her. Those are great table topic responses and snap evaluations. So now we're going to the evaluation portion of the prepared speakers. I think we already covered the timing. It's 2 to 3 minutes, so we're familiar with that. So with that, it is my pleasure to introduce distinguished Toastmaster Victoria Trabosh, who will be our first evaluator. Victoria?
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. Tamara, what a pleasure to evaluate you today. Can we pin me and Tamara, please? The keys to happiness. Perhaps you know someone, la 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 la, and then you went right on. Always pause. Pause after you ask a question so that I can think about it. Perhaps I do. Now I can focus my speech on that person, could be me, or on someone else that you tell us about. And then you did a wonderful job keeping us going back to happiness. I realized I should have counted the word happiness today. You blew it. You blew right through any number I thought you would use. So well done. And then, isn't it wonderful? That was another question you asked. Started with that. Great pause. Good job on that one. You gave your solution to be happy. You know, I never understood when we flipped from all the happiness to the solution. Because maybe you could have said, now here's my solution. It's my solution, but here's what I've done. You gave your solution to be happy. And I'm not, like I said, sure where you segued into happiness. And I love the leader story. Good happiness example. I am happy and grateful you have to come through the storms. Make sure that you give us enough to think about as you come through the storm, how happiness affects it. Please. I'd like you to work on giving a story sooner. Where could you have started closer to the beginning with a story that got us hooked on why happiness matters? And often that's a negative story, meaning we have to understand where it could be and where it wasn't. And that, again, gives you ethos, gives you credibility to talk about this. And you really have it. I loved food for thought. I love the Crow Eagle story. And I wonder how you could have brought it back to you. There are no cycles, if you know what I mean, in your stories. And this story is symbolic. And then you gave your solution about how could the wings signify for you. Beautiful video. And how could you be the crow? Go deep into these stories. There's some beautiful stories, and I think you could have even had more. And what the wings signify for you, that would be another great way to say it. And here's the point. If you said it, I missed it. That's on me as a listener, but it could be on the way the story was structured. Happiness is the way. The door is open. And what if you said, I'm sorry to tell you, early in the story, there are no wings. Sorry, there is no key to happiness. Because you never told us until almost the end, this isn't about keys. Aw, you said so in your title, talking about happiness. I thought we were talking about keys. Find a pivot, do it sooner. The keys to my happiness are, oh, sorry, there are no keys. There is something greater. And then lead us on with your story. Biggest takeaways for me. Great subject, good visuals by you. You need some more humor, need some humor, better organization, and an earlier story. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Great, thank you. And I'm going to do a snap question to Tamara. What value did you receive from Vicky's feedback? What stood out to you, something that you can take action on in your next speech?
I'm grateful for this detailed evaluation and especially grateful for the summary of it, just one sentence in the end, what to improve, 1, 2, 3. And that gave me food for thought, and I'll be working on implementing it next time I have a chance to speak. Thank you very much, Vicky.
Great, and thank you for your feedback on the feedback, hence the master evaluation moniker. We are now going on to evaluator number 2, Mr. Graham. I believe he brought Rosie to the club way back when. He's been a sponsor, a benefactor, a fan, a supporter, and now an evaluator. Distinguished Toastmaster John Graham.
Well, thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, and thank you, Rosie. Rosie, it's just wonderful to see you back here. And what a great approach to your speech, you know. It's like you role played with yourself. And it sounds like a real story from your life and someone really asking questions and wanting to learn from you. And obviously the subject area is one that you're expert at. So that was that was wonderful. I would suggest that you slow down just a little bit. Then you can use a little bit more purposeful diction. So that was one thing I kind of heard. But your vocal variety was very good. Your face turned as if you were really talking to that person. So you were like facing where you should be facing, you know, and I really admire that. You did a great role with that. Only one thing I would like to suggest. I wanted to know, what is your communication style? And that was the purpose of some of this that you're supposed to do. So you should have, there's some way that you can work that in so that we get that message in terms of what your communication style is. I know you're using it. You know, you intrigued that person, you intrigued yourself and pulled yourself in. But how did you do that? And that would have been interesting to hear more about. Let's see. Yeah, opening, going side to side, asking a question, things like that. That was just perfect. Your vocal variety was good. Your gestures were very good. When you were talking to yourself, you were talking to yourself, and we could see that. That was perfect. Let's see, with your eye contact, you were making eye contact with you. And that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing, because you're role playing. and it's a perfect role play. Yeah, so that's basically the only suggestion I would have is try to bring out a discussion of your communication style. Let us know what it is and what you're using with that person when you talk to them. And slow down a little bit more so that your diction could be more specific. It's a very technical talk.
Thank you.
And if you slow down a little bit more, I would have understood a bit more. That would be all right. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much for that evaluation. Rosie, what value did you receive from this evaluation? How, if you were to give this speech again, would you change based upon Mr. Graham's feedback?
Yeah, first and foremost, I would say thank you so much, John. He's my mentor when I just joined Toastmaster. He helped me so much from day one until now. So I wouldn't say thank you enough about how much you helped me throughout the whole process. So I appreciate that. For the evaluation, I really like the idea of being slowing down, because I know that I'm so passionate about what I'm doing, and so I'm just so excited, and I just like constantly talking and just talking so fast about that. It's not like I have to prepare for it. It's just inside me already. So I just need to calm down and just speak slowly in more calming voice and tone. That will help me a lot in the next speech. And because it is about the communication style, I need to probably do more research about what the purpose of the speech more when before I start, so I can explain better to the audience what the style I'm communicating for the next speech. But thank you so much for the evaluation. I appreciate it, but also appreciate you as well.
Oh, I appreciate you as
Back
well.
to you, Toastmaster.
And I appreciate the two of you picking up on the theme. All right, we are now moving on to functionary reports. He's a distinguished Toastmaster. He's a guest, but he jumped in. He's our esoteric word of the day. Mr. Kitchen, distinguished Toastmaster, do you have a report for us, sir?
Heaven to Murgatroyd. Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Esoteric was the word of the day. Thank you so much, Sandra. I believe it's you put in the word. Forgive me for not giving a definition of the word and using it in a sentence when I took on the responsibility. However, in spite of that, we had a good usage of the word. Vicky, of course, you got it in, I believe, a couple of times. I marked at least once. I was trying to listen, maybe twice. John, Mr. Graham got it in. I believe John White got it in once, or at least had that look like you wanted to get it in. I marked it down one anyway, I believe. Rosie, great to see you. You got it in one time. Thank you. Sandra, but of course, you got it in there one time. Sherman, great job. You got it in there twice. I was able to squeak one in, but our overall champion, your choice, Miss Kathy Choice, got it in 3 times. So there you have it. Wonderful use of the word, great word. And thank you for allowing me to participate today. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. It is now time for my meeting evaluation. Last meeting, we had a presentation where Pat Caslin spoke about one of the things he spoke about, the difference between the intention of the speaker, what I'm about to do, and the audience's experience of that, and how very much it can be a gulf between the two. And I thought what we did really well today was that evaluators spoke to their perception of the speaker, and we did a good job of offering things on how they might improve. And there was a theme of how you might engage the audience. So it's just not an isolated speaker performance that has no impact on the audience and what they might do post-speech. So from the SNAP evaluations, Brad, I loved when you just spoke about what I connected with. What really hit me was your voice, your speech, your tone. So maybe your speaker wasn't aware of that. So I really like that. Vicky also taught us as a SNAP evaluator, be careful about what dad didn't do or mom didn't or this, the negatives and what that does to your audience's mind. Now we're all thinking about that and we're not hearing what you're saying. And she also suggested that you might offer an example when you did allow envy, the personal lesson before or the personal experience that allows the lesson to have great impact. And then, Michael, I thought you're a nice man, maybe out of deference to David Kitchen. I thought you were a little too nice to him. I thought he spun his wheels. And in a table topics, he's going off three things. And he got to the second over time. I thought it was a disaster. But you did, Dave and I used to be friends. Michael, I do love that you said, ask us a question. There very much is this notion of, are you changing people's lives? Did our evaluation change the speaker? But do what they share change our view? And are we going to do something with it? I'd be loved to be asked, be given that invitation. And Michael gave the invitation. So thank you for that. On to the speech evaluations. I really liked what Vicky said about slowing down. And Vicky, I too had the same experience, which was don't tell me, show me, hit me with a story. And while I don't mean to say you should have been harsher, I think the words I would have said to that was, I wasn't engaged early on. I was just sort of floating, and we were talking about this abstract thing called happiness. And I think that might have been more impactful to say that we were all kind of waiting to engage. On Rosie's evaluation, I thought it was a good job. You said to slow down. What I found with Rosie, I loved the enactment. I wish she had broken the wall and made some comment about what she was doing, why she was doing it. At some point, I almost felt like a voyeur. Did I go into the wrong breakout room? Should I be witnessing this? It was just Rosie and the client, and I didn't know where I fit in. So, one, John, I liked that you said answer the question, but then also, Rosie, maybe just say, see what I'm doing here is I'm hitting him with a highly technical stuff, but I want to demonstrate my competence. Then later on, you say, having established the competence, I want to appear likable. There's a lot of us that do this out here. How is she going to pick me from three people? Okay, now I'm likable. Now I'm going to talk about my price. I don't want to be too cheap, but I don't want to be do you know what I mean? Like, walk us through the evolution of this. That, I think, would have been very beneficial. We had a couple of moving parts in the meeting as far as evaluation, things like that. It's fine. We handle it just fine. Vicky, I'm sorry about the free toast mishap. I hope you got the evaluation form. I thought our evaluations were spot on. I loved the table topic, and I love how our guest, I think the guest willingness, Abul Fazi, I think yours was most symbolic of just, can I? Not, oh, if they ask me, I will. Can I? And then not asking, understanding a word, asking further, the confidence and the willingness to play. These are hallmarks of a supportive Toastmaster meeting, and we get what we give and bring to the meeting. Abadal Fazi, thank you so much for your example. And with that, I will turn it back to our president, who's doing a bang-up job, Victoria.
Thank you, John. Wow. I'm speechless for a change. Wonderful meeting. Love the energy. I love the heart and soul of this club. Y'all make me look good. I just have to say it. You are so polished. You are everything. You are everything that made me join this club and say yes in the first place. Right now, I'd like to get some feedback from our guests and find out, what are you going to take from this meeting into your daily life? I'd like to start with you, David Kitchen. What is your takeaway today?
Thank you, Madam Club President, and our district director and fellow directors and masters of evaluation. It's been a minute. My takeaway is horrific. I am never coming back to this club again. The feedback is too transparent. I wasn't prepared for this, and I think I'm getting a divorce because of it. No, I kid. That's an esoteric response. Masters of Evaluation, as Vicky had the vision, along with John and Keith, was long needed. And if you understand the history of Toastmasters ever since 1924, there were two things that Ralph Smedley did intend. One was parliamentary procedure. The other two was evaluation, not just for transparency, but how we can really dig into the core of what constitutes a good evaluation to encourage the speaker to come back and really do a deep dive and connect with the audience. And I have to admit, today was an exemplary example of that. It's always great to see everyone. Sorry for going over. I received some wonderful feedback in the chat, duly noted. I've made a note of it, but this is a wonderful meeting, and the purpose is very consistent each and every meeting I hear. So thank you for inviting me, and looking forward to attending again. Love you, Vicky.
Thank you, David. Please come back soon. Sherman, can you tell us what's your takeaway from our meeting today?
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
One, I like the background that you guys have. I'm stealing that and taking it to Genesis. Two, just the whole structure of the meeting. Masters of Evaluation Toastmasters Club. That's the meat and bread of Toastmasters. That's how we grow. I will be back. I will take many of the ideas that I've learned at this meeting back to my clubs. We're having an evaluation demonstration at like I mentioned, at our next meeting on the fourth Thursday. And I'm the target speaker, and I will receive several evaluations. But I will be back to learn more from you, to improve the evaluation concept at our meetings. Evaluating table topics? Wow. That's mind-boggling. Thank you for entertaining me, educating me, and inspiring me. Love you from Georgia.
Thank you so much, Sherman. Come back anytime. Jeff, could you come off mute and tell us what your takeaways from today's meeting are?
I should say this is my first time going to another club that wasn't mine. And I feel like a tourist in another country. I learned so much. I was constantly comparing what I see here with what we have in my club. And some of the things that you guys do are so neat. I definitely want to bring them. I love the slogan, we evaluate to elevate. I was really blown away by evaluations of table topics. I thought the general evaluator, re-emphasizing the evaluations and then adding their own evaluations is another opportunity that I was really impressed with every evaluation, but particularly the extra impact of the general evaluator. We want to do a better job in my club, and I appreciate a look at some club that does it really well. So thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. I'll talk to you about visiting your club sometime. John, can you tell us what value you're taking from our meeting today?
Oh, thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I'll echo what everyone else said. In my club, Lunchtime Leaders, I'm always trying to reinforce this idea that evaluations, you don't serve anyone by just only being nice and only pointing out the good things. You've got to be able to help them. And you guys live up to your name, no question. Snap evaluation for table topics, the 2 speaker evaluators today, just no holding back, kind, professional, but there. And just wonderful. The very idea of asking their speakers, what value did you receive from your evaluation? I love that. That should be, I'm going to take that back to our club and incorporate that if I can. My only suggestion is I do not like seeing chat or texting or chat during a speaker's time. Just as if you were in person meeting, you wouldn't be chatting with other people during their speaking. Speakers should have absolute attention from everyone, and there should be no chat going on during that time. And I don't think there was much. Maybe a couple of guests were doing something. But other than that, just you guys live up to your name. You do, you really do. And it's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you. Abu Fazal, what are your takeaways from today?
Thank you so much for a great meeting. And I didn't know that it is ruled to not chat during other people's are speaking. I apologize for that. And I like this meeting, and I want to know, are you recording this meeting and where do you put it? It is you will put on YouTube or somewhere because I wanted to know and I see how and review my mistakes. And that's it. I think everything is great. I wanted to know also that is it every week or someday?
Yeah, meet me in the breakout room afterwards and we can talk about having you back. We do record the meeting. It goes up on YouTube, and I will be sure to send you a link so that you have that. Does that work?
Thank you.
All right.
You. Thank you for your hard work, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we have just another minute. Keith, could you give us a sentence or two about what you're going to bring home from this meeting?
Sure. I have three things, pretty much reiterating what others have said. I like the banner that you have there. We don't do a lot of Zoom. We're hybrid, but that would be very beneficial to have our name of our club. I also like the snap evaluations and asking the speaker after the evaluation what they would take away from the evaluation, maybe incorporate into their speech. Those three great things that I'll take away. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Pamela, we'd love to hear what you thought of our meeting today.
I would just like to say everything that everybody has said and more. It was inspiring. Evaluations are such a critical part of our growth when we're preparing for speeches and contests, right? We talk about contests and growing. We don't grow as speakers if we do not receive that feedback, that critical feedback, and how we can deliver our speech better. Thank you, everyone. It was a phenomenal meeting, and I'm looking forward to coming back. Thank you.